Under Federal Rule of Evidence 610, evidence of a witness's religious beliefs isn't admissible for the purpose of impairing or enhancing the witness's credibility. However, such evidence is admissible to show interest or bias. Firemen's Fund Insurance Company v. Thien explores this distinction. Charles Benedict ran errands and did odd jobs for Mid-Plains Corporation, an air-courier service. Charles reported to Michael Thien. Charles died in an accident while on board an aircraft owned and operated by Mid-Plains. Certain members of Charles's family, whom we'll refer to collectively as the Benedicts, sued Mid-Plains, Thien, and Richard Lund, the defendant ad litem for the deceased pilot, for wrongful death. Firemen's Fund, Mid-Plains' insurance carrier, then filed an action in federal court seeking a declaration that because Charles was an employee at the time of the accident, Firemen's was not required to provide coverage to Thien and Lund. The Benedicts intervened in that action. The district court granted summary judgment to Firemen's on its declaratory judgment action. Thien and Lund appealed, arguing that summary judgment wasn't appropriate because there was a genuine issue of material fact as to whether Charles was an employee. The Court of Appeals reversed the judgment and remanded the case for a trial on the employment issue. At trial, Firemen's called as witnesses Martina and Chris Benedict, who were Charles's family members but not party to the wrongful death suit. Martina and Chris testified that they were members of a small church group led by Thien. The Benedicts then sought to introduce evidence regarding a specific tenet of the church that prohibited church members from participating in civil litigation. The Benedicts claimed they wanted to use this evidence to show why Martina and Chris weren't parties in the underlying wrongful death action. The court didn't allow the evidence of the tenet. Ultimately, the jury determined that Charles was an employee of Mid-Plains, and therefore that Firemen's wasn't required to indemnify Thien and Lund. The Benedicts appealed on several issues, including the court's exclusion of evidence regarding Martina and Chris's religious beliefs.